Sarah awaits her father in the TV lounge. As Joel walks in, he is greeted by his young daughter who prepared a watch to gift him on his birthday. After spending a little time together, Sarah goes to sleep. She suddenly gets up at night when her uncle Tommy calls him to talk to Joel in an emergency. As Sarah heads out of her room to look for her father, she is shocked to see her father loading the gun and killing one of their neighbors which tried to break in. Joel calms her down. Meanwhile, Tommy arrives and they all decide to leave the city immediately as the whole city is under attack by an unknown virus, which is turning people into zombies. The highway is packed with cars, so they decide to take an alternate route, but they soon get in a collision with another vehicle and crash. As Sarah gains consciousness again, she realizes she has been injured and cannot walk anymore. Joel carries her in his arms as they make their way through the alleys. Tommy decides to stay behind and stop the zombies and tells Joel to head towards the highway with Sarah. As Joel almost reaches the highway, he is stopped by a soldier, who gets the orders to shoot them down. Joel tries to negotiate with him, claiming that they are not sick, but the soldier ends up shooting at them. As Joel tries to evade the bullets, he and Sarah falls down on the ground. The soldier is shot down by Tommy before he could kill Joel. But unfortunately, Sarah has been hit by the bullets and she dies in the arms of her father. 20 years later, civilization has been destroyed by the pandemic, humans live under quarantine societies, and a rebel group by the name of Fireflies is active, performing attacks against the government and military. They want discipline in order to be restored in the human world. Joel wakes up in his home in North Boston. He works as a smuggler alongside his partner Tess, who arrive at his door injured and informs him that she got attacked by two of Robert's men on her way back. Robert is one of the black market traders who owes some guns to Joel and Tess. They decide to go confront him for the attack in a warehouse in Area 5. As they are passing through a checkpost, the checkpost is attacked by Fireflies and the soldiers close the gate to any passers. This forces Joel and Tess to take an alternate route towards Robert through buildings. At the black market, they are faced by Robert's men who try to stop them, but the duo kills them off, making their way towards the deck where they identify Robert. Robert makes a run for his lift but reaches a dead end in an alley. This gives the perfect opportunity to Jill and Tess to ask him to return their guns. They pin him down and upon investigating they find out that Robert has sold the guns to Fireflies. Tess kills him after learning this, and this is when a Firefly member named Marlon arrives at the scene. She claims she has the guns they want, but in return she wants Joel and Tess to smuggle something out of the city. Both the parties come to an agreement and Marlon takes the duo to an empty building where they meet Ellie, a young girl who tries to attack Joel when he enters the room. Marlon tells her that they are here to help and reveals that Ellie is what they have to smuggle out of the city. Joel asks Marlon to show the weapons first and Marlon agrees. They decide to let Joel take Ellie with him to the north exit of the city while Tess will go and check on the weapons before meeting Joel at the north exit. Joel, Tess, and Ellie set out in the middle of the night and come into contact with a government patrol. Ellie reveals that she was sick 3 weeks ago and that her immunity may result in a cure. Typically, symptoms appear within 2 days. The trio passes past swarms of the infected on their way to their destination but discovers that the Fireflies there have been slaughtered. Tess confesses to having been bitten by an infected and, seeing the immunity in Ellie, Tess sacrifices herself to buy more time so that Joel and Ellie can flee. Joel makes the decision to track down Tommy, his brother and a former Firefly, in the hopes of finding the remaining Fireflies. They decide to head towards a town nearby to meet Bill, an old friend of Joel who owes him some favors, and Joel believes that Bill can provide them with a car. As they enter the town, Joel sets off a bobby trap which hangs him upside down. Bill comes to their rescue and takes them back to his shelter. Bill reveals that he does not have a car in working condition and Joel needs to gather up parts from the other side of the town for Bill to get a car running for him. Once they manage to gather all the parts, Bill fixes up a mini truck for them and they bid him farewell and continue on their journey. The duo then heads towards Pittsburgh. When entering the town, a stranger walks in front of their car who claims that he is hurt. Joel catches that it's an act and tries to drive through him. This is when they are ambushed by a group of bandits. Their car crashes and they engage in a fight against the bandits. Once they manage to defeat them, they make their way through the city by commuting through the buildings. While jumping through an elevator in one of the buildings, Ellie makes it through but the elevator breaks before Joel could jump off. As he makes his way back to Ellie, he is attacked by a bandit which tries to kill him. Ellie shots him in the back of the head, saving Joel. She feels sick about killing someone at first, but later Joel teaches him how to shoot a sniper and tells her that this is important to survive. They both come across two brothers, Henry and Sam, who are in the same ship as them. They inform them that their group got ambushed by the bandits and they all scattered across the town. Joel and Ellie decides to team up with them in order to escape the city. Sam gets bitten while they are escaping the city, but he keeps it a secret from everyone else. Eventually his sickness takes over him and Sam attacks Joel. With no other option left, his brother Henry shoots him and decides to take his own life after as well. Joel and Ellie ultimately locate Tommy in the season of fall in Jackson County, where he and his wife Maria have built a fortified settlement close to a hydroelectric dam. Tommy tries to hand over a photo of Joel with his daughter Sarah to him, but Joel refuses to accept it. Joel then informs Tommy about Ellie being immune to the virus and asks Tommy to take her to the Fireflies. At first Tommy refuses, claiming that he wants to protect his family and people, but soon the settlement is attacked by a group of bandits and this changes Tommy's mind as he is tired of the sick world. He agrees to taking Ellie to the Fireflies lab in the University of East Colorado. Meanwhile Ellie overhears Joel asking Tommy to take her and this disappoints her and she escapes the settlement on her own with a horse. Tommy and Joel go after her and they find her in a house nearby. This is when Ellie confronts Joel about Sarah and she tells him that Joel is the only person left that she trusts and she does not want to part ways with him. At first Joel intends to send her out with Tommy, but he changes his mind and lets her remain. Tommy guides them to the University of Eastern Colorado's Fireflies Enclave, and they both embark on their journey towards it. The campus is deserted when they arrive, but they soon discover that the Fireflies have relocated to a hospital in Salt Lake City, Utah. As they are planning to travel to the city, they are attacked by bandits. The battle ends with Joel falling off a window and landing on top of an iron rod which rips through his stomach, injuring him severely. Ellie manages to save him, and as winter arrives, Ellie steps up and looks after Joel while he is still recovering from his deadly injury. She comes across two scavengers by the name of David and James. David seems to be quite nice to Ellie at first, but he later reveals that the bandits which Ellie and Joel killed earlier were his people and this forces Ellie to adapt a hostile behavior with him. She makes his way back to Joel and gives him his medicine before sleeping. Upon waking up, she realizes that the bandits have traced her back to her safe house. She makes an attempt to escape on a horse but fails to do so and the bandits capture her. She wakes up in a small cage and finds out that the bandits have been feeding on dead people. David offers Ellie to join his cannibal group but she fights back. Disappointed by her behavior, David leaves, promising her that he will return tomorrow to take care of her. Back at the safe house, Joel wakes up and goes out in search of Ellie. He is attacked by two of the bandits and he manages to defeat them and take them hostage. He forces them to tell him where they are keeping Ellie and once he learns Ellie's location, he kills both of the bandits. The next morning, David and James try to chop Ellie into pieces but she informs them that she is infected, distracting them and escaping. Her attempt to escape is failed when David catches her and pins her down in a cottage. Ellie however manages to fight back and kills David ruthlessly. Soon Joel arrives at the scene and calms her down before they both flee the area. Soon spring arrives, Joel and Ellie arrive in Salt Lake City. Ellie is rendered unconscious after almost drowning before they are captured by a Firefly patrol. They take her to a hospital where they reunite with Marlene. She informs Joel that Ellie is being prepared to undergo a surgery, in hopes of producing a vaccine for the infection, but she also reveals that to study Ellie's immunity, they must take out the infected part of her brain and that will kill her. Unwilling to let Ellie die, Joel stands against Marlene but she shuts him off, claiming that this is a sacrifice that is needed to save the whole humanity. She orders the Firefly soldier to take Joel out of the facility. As Marlene leaves, Joel fights back and kills the Firefly soldier, after which, he battles his way to the operating room, where he kills the lead Firefly surgeon, and carries the unconscious Ellie to the parking garage. He is confronted by Marlene, who tries to stop him from taking away their only hope of finding a cure for the infection. Joel decides to shoot her and kills Marlene in order to prevent the Fireflies from pursuing them. While they are escaping the city, Ellie wakes up in the car and questions about why they are leaving the city, to which Joel answers that the Fireflies found many others with the same immunity as hers, and they failed to find cure with any of those so they eventually stopped trying to find a cure. Later they make their way back to Jackson County towards Tommy's settlement. This is when Ellie opens up about her doubts about the Fireflies ceasing their efforts to find a cure. She asks Joel to swear about what he told her is true, and without skipping a beat, Joel swears by his words and stick to the lies that he has told her, just to keep her alive with him. The story ends as Ellie seems to believe Joel's story. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe for more epic videos. We will see you at the next one.